But Michael, you don't look spiritual. You don't act spiritual. You don't act like a monk. And to that I say, yeah, that's intentional. Because after I left the monkhood, I wanted nothing to do with all the little gimmicks and the little quirks that I picked up to telegraph that I was a very special person. And I picked up these little ways of acting because as a monk, I wanted people to take me seriously as a monk. And they don't take you seriously as a monk if you don't act a certain way. So it's just catch-22. So I gave up part of my authentic self and I adopted these ways of acting like, the stares and the namastes and the prayer position and all these little monkey type of things that we would say. And all of it was just because we are invested in how we looked and how we came across. And I mean, we had the spiritual underpinning. I mean, we didn't even need any of that way of acting. But nowadays I call that spiritual theater and I want nothing to do with it. And so, yeah, I became disgusted with the way I was acting when I left the monkhood. And so it was my friends who actually helped me to break the spell. Because when I'd catch myself acting a certain way, I noticed that they would react to it. And I said, like, oh, what am I doing? I don't want to do that. And being spiritual doesn't look a certain way. There's no way that you talk if you're spiritual. There's no way that you look if you're spiritual. Being spiritual is just you being authentically, peacefully, joyfully yourself. And it's not complicated. In fact, no one should actually even know that you're a spiritual person if you're resting back into the stillness of your soul. So you don't have to be smiling all the time. You don't have to be worried that, like, if your pet dies and you're crying or your best friend moves away and you're sad, that people are going to think that you're not spiritual. And it's just not true. You can be experiencing the stillness even in those moments, but you'll still have those emotions coming through you. So being spiritual doesn't look a certain way, and that's why you won't see me acting those spiritual, gimmicky, quirky ways.